You bet.
Pat Williams standing by right now. Of course, Pat, longtime participant in our show, which we always appreciate. Pat's been in the headlines the last couple of, I guess like last week and a half. They had pictures of when he was general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers, and then they had pictures of when he took over the Magic, and then they had pictures of him today as an author. And Pat Williams, you're moving in all different circles right now, but the one thing that they picture, you're still trying to get that baseball team into Orlando.
Well, that's right. Hey, Don, first of all, who was Bill you were just talking to?
Bill Matthews, the 21 years baseball coach, but more importantly, been the official scorer at the Trop for 20 years.
Got it. And I like that Bill Livesey story. So what? So what? Yeah.
Hey, listen, you were basketball for a long time, but you were baseball long before that.
That's
Don,
right.
My roots are in baseball. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. I had a wonderful break in life. My best friend was Rollie Carpenter, whose dad owned the Phillies for many, many years. And as a youngster, a baseball crazy kid, I would go up to Shibe Park on the weekends back in the days of the Whiz Kids and all. And then we would go to spring training in Clearwater during spring break. And so I had some wonderful breaks and went on to Wake Forest and caught there for 4 years. In the one club bidding for my services, the Phillies won out. $500 bonus, $400 a month. And off I went to Miami in the Florida State League, reported to my manager, Andy Semenek, the old Whiz Kids catcher, and that's where it all started for me. That was 61 years ago. And played 2 years in the farm system, then got into the Phillies front office in their minor league system, and that led to joining the 76ers in 1968 when Jack Ramsey hired me. I left baseball. That was really my first opportunity in a major league setting, and that launched a 51-year career in the NBA. But baseball's always been a big part of my life. We tried to bring Major League Baseball here to Orlando in the 1991 period, and then again in the mid-90s. Miami got one team. The St. Pete people got the other one, and so we've kept working at it, and now we're back in it, and hope we can pull this off.
Well, you've talked about it many times with us over the last few shows that you have all the information at your fingertips. You've got the diagrams for the ballpark. You've got guaranteed season tickets for, I think you said 10,000 or a little around 10,000. You've got a lot of information to put on the table, and now it's just a matter of are they going to expand in some other area, or are they going to expand into Orlando? And what is your latest thought?
Well, Don, there are two ways of getting a team. You either move an existing team or you wait for expansion. And the commissioner 4 years ago announced that, yes, expansion is coming. He wants to get to 32 teams, break it down, I think, into 8 divisions of 4, and go with a different look. And obviously one of the expansion teams would be West. One would be East. The best we can see with Vegas now gone, you're down now to Salt Lake City, Utah, and Portland. In the East, the way I look at it, they keep mentioning Charlotte, but Charlotte's not doing anything. And then I don't think they go back to Montreal. And so it comes down, I guess, to Nashville and Orlando. On the expansion front. And in the middle of all this is what's going to become of the Rays, what's going to become of a new ballpark possibility. So many unanswered questions over there. But we're watching it all very carefully and closely and paying attention to it all, and we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out.
Roger?
Pat, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Number one, I like your updated picture on Facebook. I'm not much into Facebook, but I saw that you had an updated picture. Don was talking about all the photos. What years were you at Wake Forest?
I went there in 1958. I graduated in June of '62. I was there in the Billy Packer, Lenny Chappell era. Bones McKinney, Norm Snead was the great quarterback when I was there. Brian Piccolo was a Wake Forest guy when I was there.
Yeah,
that was my era. And
I was down there. A friend of mine played on the golf team, and he was from Springfield High School, Dick Marsh. And Brian Piccolo was in his fraternity, as I recall. And got to meet him, but didn't know that that I was meeting Brian Piccolo. That is a legend, obviously. But it's a great school, beautiful campus, and I've been to Wake Forest several times since, obviously. But you really have had a outstanding career, and when you think about all the different accomplishments that you have had, that leagues and teams have followed you, in a lot of these innovations.
Well, listen, I think what we want to do here in Orlando, because it's the entertainment capital of the world, really, it's certainly the tourist destination of the world, and people, when they come here, they want to be entertained. And so I think one of our challenges is, how do you present baseball in a way that it's never been presented before? We're trying to imagine Walt Disney, P.T. Barnum, Bill Veeck, and Jesse Cole, all merged together. And how would they present big league baseball on a nightly basis? I think that's one of the challenges that lies in front of us, so that fans, regardless of what's going on in the field, are having the time of their life and being entertained in a way that they couldn't even imagine. I think that's the challenge that would lie in front of us.
When you say that, Pat, you had your oar in the water a couple of times already, and it's so difficult. And as you mentioned, everybody is still waiting to see what's going to happen in St. Pete. We've talked about it many times with you and with people within the community about, is it moving along? Is there going to be a stadium? Can they build it in Tampa? Can they build it in St. Pete? I don't think they can build it in St. Pete under any circumstances myself. But to me, you've done all the groundwork. You've done all the groundwork, and it's just as you just explained, you're pretty much down to two cities if you're looking at teams in the East, right?
Well, that's true, and you've got to have four things done to pull this off. Number one, you've got to have the marketplace for baseball to accept. We feel good. Orlando is now the 17th largest media market in North America. It's the largest media market that doesn't have a Major League Baseball team. It's a larger media market than 10 existing Major League franchises. Secondly, you've got to have a ballpark. And that baseball will approve of, and I think that's the key. Well, Don, the price of ballparks is not cheap. When we started 4 years ago, it looked like the price of a ballpark was up about $1.2 billion. In our announcement last week, we said it's $1.7 billion, and we're going to Orange County to request $975 million. From the Orange County tourist bed tax situation. We would have to raise privately the other $700 million. It's a huge undertaking. Third, you've got to have a front office that knows what they're doing. Running a professional sports team is not for amateurs. You've got to have experience. You've got to know what you're doing. It's a specialized business. And we feel good about that. And then fourth, you've got to have an owner. You've got to have an owner with deep pockets, obviously, but he's got to fit into the baseball culture, which is very conservative. He's got to have a feel for Orlando and and fit into this market. And fourth, that owner's going to like baseball. He's got to enjoy baseball. He's got to be able to navigate 162 ball games and 30 spring training games and 6 minor league teams and off season and free agency and winter meetings, and it's a huge undertaking. And so we're trying to find that right guy, as is Nashville, as is Portland. So those are the 4 things you have to have.
Well, I saw this week they just yesterday or the day before they came out with the definitive numbers for Vegas. The stadium is $1.5 billion, and they moved into the Tropicana location. They're going to tear the Tropicana down and build the new location, not the original location that they were going to buy the land outside the Strip. They've changed that. So your numbers are pretty correct. They're already saying $1.5 billion to start.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, Don. And with the challenge from our mayor 4 years ago, that he made it clear. He said this has got to be a tourist attraction unto itself, where visitors from around the world who come here would want to see this ballpark because of its uniqueness, even if there's no game. And so that's what we've been doing, trying to get a ballpark built like that visitors would say, boy, we go to Disney, we do Universal, but man, oh man, we gotta see Dreamland Park somewhere on our trip. So that's what we're trying to get built here. We'll all get to see him.
Well, Pat, I got to jump out now, but thank you very, very much as always for getting on with us and talking about so many different things of real importance to the listeners. Thank you so much.
Good to talk to you, Don. All the best. And by the way, one closing note: anybody of your listeners who is interested in helping getting baseball to Orlando, go up to the website, OrlandoDreamers.com. OrlandoDreamers.com. You can help us.